Yeah, man. See what's going on. Let's see. Yeah, just want to make a quick live stream. Mhm. Yeah, man. Yeah, I think I did a live stream for the first time. It was pretty good. Talked about the madness of the manosphere. It's a little success. I just threw something up, and I'm just listening to Roger right now. Roger report, and they talking about placeholders. You earn zero appreciation. Yo, what's going on, Wacky? Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. Just a quick little live stream. Yeah, man. I mean, yesterday I enjoyed um some discussions yesterday, and I just want to just drop a little live stream. I mean, I've got finished with the Manosphere Division 3.0 by DJ Kuda's old vids. I'm observing a lot of people that fell out with him. It's because of little disagreements I've noticed in the Manosphere. They talk about the same old stuff, and I think Wacky and others broke it down yesterday, and that was a great interview by DC. He broke down what the Manosphere should be. But the problem is you got so much division. I think Arthur Newsall broke it down with the pro black stuff. It really hurt um, a lot of people. They had different schools of thought, and I think I'm gonna make a live stream later, probably somewhere around 3:30 or something like that. Yeah, it's getting really bad, man. I'm just observing what the Manosphere people have done. You know, like we so far off the rails, and yeah, he made another one with the Red Pill Rage, and that's it. Saw a couple live streams, you know, nothing out of the ordinary. I think I was on Art's stream last night. They was talking about the good stuff, same topic. Still talking about that guy in Virginia and the one in St. Louis that got killed, and it's really um, getting bad out here, man. Like, yeah, I just want to just like say something, you know, like this is bad, man. And I think I was on the stream. Charles talked about it. Officer Faulkner, right? And he talked about the rules up there, you know, especially in the Virginia area. It's like a commonwealth, but it's kind of hurtful, man. You know, guy getting pepper sprayed, and he was doing exactly what was going his procedure. Then I saw the rest of the tape. It still was bad though, and he was still suing, but he got to get his money. But I would sue all of them for the whole cake. But I understand he had a reputation online as a lieutenant, so and ain't nothing new. And that's just where we are. I mean, I'm just seeing the whole landscape. Yeah, you know, I'm just over here looking at a live stream of the Roger Report. You know, I always call him Mr. Reset or the Great Reset, or and there's another nickname, Ruthless Nice Ones, and see who's on the panel. Jay Shine, Swim Champ, and of course Mr. Z and others. But yeah, you know, it's just I'm just gonna throw this up and just leave it up for a minute, or probably keep it. I don't see where this goes. Yeah, yeah, I've been kind of observing, being busy at the same time, but you know, yeah, the manosphere, it's really, really, really like more divided than I thought it was. You know, the history of it since I came back from I think 2019. You know, because I had a job for 2 years and I wasn't even focused on this stuff on content. I'm just trying to get back into the content swings. I might make a video about Epicureanism. I think BGS me debate about it if it's nihilism or utilitarianism. I'm gonna do some research on it because I'm gonna probably drop that this weekend or something like that, just to kill the buzz. You know what I mean? I'm gonna see and look into that. I might look at it up tonight and do some searches on it, and then I have another nihilist video, break that down the definition, and finish that series up. And you know, just a couple of videos there and there, a few live streams there and there. I'm getting the hang of it. My first live stream was kind of okay. I was just talking about what was going on in the manosphere, like the stuff I've been listening to and been on panels and people talk about different things. And some people want productivity, some people don't. But it's like they're in the right place. But the thing is, what struggle in manosphere? Yes, you need better audio, but I don't think audio is the really the solution. That's just an opinion. I think audio is kind of like stretching it. Now, if you're in the entertainment industry, yes, and what we see in COVID, you have to make do or a studio. My thing is, I don't need to have better audio. Some people have the voice of it and whatever, but what you're going to see is content is changing. So you do have people producing better content. So content is kind of dry right now in the YouTube, what they say, YouTube streets. Yeah, you got to have some great content. If you don't have great content or talent, you're going to be obsolete. I said this many times on panels and different individuals' panels. I've learned that if you do it and bring substance to your work, which is the truth or not, you're going to have to produce better content or better research, you know. So when these debates, they debate about anything and don't know the meaning of words. See, when I bring up words like utilitarianism and nihilism, I'm referring to what BGS's last video with the black pill videos and he's done. I done seen, and the latest one I seen was Owlman and Batman, the Justice League at the end, and talks about, and he threw up the terms nihilist and utilitarianism. Now, the first one I did was utilitarianism. He said there is a such thing as a black pill utilitarian, talking about Batman, right? Because he sees in the dark and whatever, right? So what he mentions in that video, it says it's the construct. Yeah, it's the greatest number of maximum of happiness. Now, I did videos on it, layers of it. Those videos you can check out and do the research. I put some uh, proof and evidence of it, you know, but he has a different perspective of it. But nihilism, yes, it's destructive, and it's a destructive ideology, but it's far left and wherever. But both of them are extreme sides, so they both have contentious. But what he mentioned, I think we talked about this before on Art of Idmore's live stream recently with the DMX thing. PK was curious about the utilitarian mindset. Well, it's in the military. They just practice the rule of utilitarian, and sometimes they do the act, but they don't do the total. Total means all. The problem with total utilitarianism, like I mentioned in the pros and cons utilitarian video, those videos I did, the pros and cons of utilitarianism, that scholar from Texas, is you need to get rid of the minority group, the Masonics that run the planet, like the two top orders. I ain't gonna mention the two J's on this, you know, the stream, but I'm just saying that's the reason, the so-called white people at the top, right? And that's what you gotta look at and what you're trying to produce. But I think that's one thing you have in common. You look at that society and how we gonna construct it when this shit's gonna fall. You know what I mean? It's not for everyone to be part of that structure, right? The problem with it is you don't have a society that's like that. It's in fragmented spurts. But I think one thing is for certain, what I've noticed in these spaces, like when they talk about the esoteric stuff on the 2.0 side, that's all they talk about 95% of the time. Sometimes it's about females, but when you have an individual deals with the esoteric and defending the gender war narrative, it becomes kind of loose. But a lot of dudes love the gender war propaganda from SWPs to Tommy and to whatever. Now, KS or Kevin Samuels, he's the standard of the modern dating world, the mainstream manosphere. That means the white manosphere. I call it mainstream for a reason. They got it from us originally. But what I've learned, the talking points hold weight. That's the problem. And it's money, and it's mentioned in yesterday's panels, and the panel yesterday was great on both Wacky's live streams, and it confirms what I'm seeing. You know, it was the same argument in 2020, and I think Zero mentioned it in the video in the More Division 3.0 from last year in April on Kuda's channel. What I saw, he said they're gonna do the same old shit, rehash conversations, and we got to see the results. So basically, we're seeing mild racism from the Democratic side. What I've noticed, the guy getting pepper sprayed. There's a guy, I think St. Louis then got shot. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't seen that. Now, the one with the George Floyd, they got laws written down trying to stop those situations. I just recently watched my son's latest video, right? He said something valuable that makes sense that if you're not out here in the front lines of getting pepper spray, you're not doing nothing for your people. But I don't agree with him on the BLM part. We already know that's not for us. So they're on the clock right now with this $10 billion. They have to produce. And if you can't produce, like BGS said, the fault is on them. You cannot go out here and expect change for us, so as a collective or the men, because the men gonna do their own thing. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna fight for these rights. I ain't gonna say equal rights. We're gonna have to do something different, But yes, it is the way forward. We have to be independent and have our own little thing. So whatever it takes, or the next election or whatever, because these two parties ain't gonna last. But I do know is that we need change. Like the next 4 years, but we got to get our stuff together first. So your focus will be next year. This year is just a wash because of the COVID. I think next year you should worry about the crypto stuff, and they got that written down. And you got other brothers in the spaces capitalizing on it. But for me, I'm trying to work on that now for myself and trying to figure out what I want as a niche. So, this YouTube thing is just a hobby for me. I just throw out topics there and there. But you do have supportive brothers on your side. So yeah, I ain't trying to get into civil war and beefs. That's bad for look, image, or businesses. I think War Master said it best. There's a lot of content creators trying to clean up their content, and the more they clean up their content, that's another way you can get out of this circle jerk or the circular arguments of the manosphere. What you're trying to do is create better content. That's what the people look at, and better audio. If you want better audio, you got to upgrade your stuff. Now everybody's gonna have great audio. It's only a handful of individuals, but it can be done in the future. I ain't saying it's right now, but if we do, they might put it in cell phones. They might put it in headsets. I mean, you could talk about mics all day. Mics ain't really the issue. It's really audio. Mics is just a buffer argument. What I've noticed, it's about audio. And when you mention audio to certain individuals in certain groups, they get upset, or certain topics, whatever. Not everybody's good on the audio. Let's just keep it at that. And they can't just tell me what the audio is going to be, your voice or whatever, your message. So what I've noticed is, like, me, my audio is good. I just use headphones that's like what, $10 for my headset over here. And that's why I learned to speak, but you have to be authoritative. What I've noticed is certain individuals care about it so much. And you got one individual in particular. He came on a live stream on that last Friday, and he showed his colors what he thought about the George Floyd case. He insulted two professionals, right? And he thinks he's the loudest in the room. And I think Stream Team Means made a meme about his behind. Like, it's funny and it's gold. But this dude is trying to destroy the other side, or wherever side there is on panels, what I've noticed. But y'all know who I'm talking about. But that dude is, yeah, he's crazy right now. But we'll see what comes out of it. But see, beefing with people and sectors, that's not something I come in here for. I just come in for the information and use it and just stick with it. Because I'm done with the back and forth. Because certain dudes, they just emotional, man, and they can't tell me what's going on in the world. You know, I see it every day. I go outside and see people making certain changes in their lives, and I don't see what the state of Georgia is going to be like in the next couple of years, because it's going to be some lot of changes. I don't see what the women's going to do with the 10 billion. If they f it up, we just going to have to pick up the pieces, and we already got the group set up. Say we have a group in 4 years, and then we get that money back. We may not trust Goldman Sachs, but we don't know how this country's gonna fall or collapse. So I've been saying that stuff for like 9 years almost in certain videos and certain topics, but it's gonna get to that level, man. What I've learned is how the atmosphere is gonna be. You know, that's just something that I have to look at, man. Yeah, man. It's just I think a lot of dudes are just distracted by the vagina. I mean, and they just so distracted, man. And I think someone shout me out in the live stream yesterday. What's his name, GC, and I said, man, that ain't nothing serious, man. I ain't worried about it. Y'all can have that mess. See, that's why I don't really care for. When it comes to relationships, I ain't that guy over here. I ain't talking about that. That ain't my thing. I had my feel of that in my 20s, and it didn't work out. It's just, the quality of women ain't there anymore. Some people just take it and keep it because of COVID. People are desperate. They losing their minds on these YouTube stuff. They don't have no composure on panels, and you really learn about what panels are. Panels, you just gotta have composure. You can't be aggressive and be woofing on everybody. If you disagree with them, you disagree, and just talk it out, and then just leave it there, and then just step aside. And learn something from that. Well, what I've learned from panels, man, a lot of people, it's not like the chats. The chats, you can say what you want. You can bring up great points and write a long paragraph, but sometimes you got certain individuals that are the hosts. They don't want you to write too long. They want you to get on the link, hit the link, hit the link. You know what I'm talking about? The Grandmaster himself. Everybody copy that. And I've noticed they copy everything he does. But it's like a pattern. I guess he kind of set the standard of what the manosphere is now, but the other side 3.0, they just divided over the Civil War stuff, over Stream Team or whatever. Oh, he's mad because China White gave me a wrench, and I was cool with her. I ain't got no beef with her. He's mad because they're coming out to get him about his situation they had 2 years ago, and I ain't got nothing to do with that. I know he's upset, and he was over there sky watching me what was going on. So he's basically trying to call me the SIMP, which I'm not. It ain't that serious. It ain't that serious. These dudes be acting crazy, and I've noticed it was cool with Cuda, and that's the Cuda thing. You know what I mean? And he's right. And I'm looking at these dudes on all sides. Everybody is not perfect on this thing. Black YouTube was never about. I mean, it's supposed to be about brotherhood, but your actions don't show it. You know what I mean? It reminds me of the Signet days when they had Cyrus students said it with the pro black B1 days, like the I'm African first, and then you got the Hebrew Israelites on the other side mixing with the esoteric stuff. It's that type of thing. That's why I see from 2.0, 3.0 when they go at it on these panels, and it's the same rhetoric, man. Like they gotta understand. Like I've seen this before. I've seen people's hands. Like when you do something for them, they just trying to break it. Yeah, yeah, they talking about that. Yeah, they talking about that. Yes, Wacky, yes, because what they're doing is they're trying to take him down, but we just got to wait and see, because I think one individual, what's her name, female name, Beach, from Kuda side and China White side is going to say she's going to take him out. So that's the problem, and yeah, they after his neck right now. So yeah, he has to be careful, man, because they accuse him of stealing content and everything else. But I try not to worry about dude, man. Yeah, yeah, he's effed up. It's just like what Big J Triple X said, man. They just can't stand dude, man. I ain't got no issues with him. He just over there. He just shot me out. Say, I see you. I see you got that wrench and gave her a hard emoji, and I shook my head. I was like, I don't really care at this point because they're falling apart, man. Ain't no issues with the other side. It's just people get tired of it once in a while. But when it comes to politics, that's where the divide comes. And that's what I've noticed from the last month. And then the reason they attack Kuda, Kuda's different. What I've learned a lot from, he's diverse. Yeah, he has his little ways of the play, so I ignore it, but his content's diverse. And he every now and then he'll drop some knowledge, but I know he's cool with the PE guy and Sir Ism, but they're just entertainers. I don't take those dudes seriously, really, because they just in it for entertainment. They ain't like for productivity, but they have their own merits. But everybody's about that money. So, but what I've noticed from Kuda, he's trying to say, I'm going to clean his content. He said he's going to do some tech stuff. I want to see what type of tech stuff he do. That's the only thing I'm interested in what he's talking about. Now, if I get better microphones than him, fine, but I ain't gonna complain about it. He's kind of chilled at this point. He got new equipment already, trying to Start back on content again. You got Zero getting his content up. You know, everybody's getting their content. But yeah, GC's he's acting wild right now. You know, I ain't gonna get into that. They protected him before, so when he lashed out, when Kuda told me he lashed out on him real quick, I said, "Oh yeah, yeah, I know what type of individual he is. I'm not mad, not upset, and that's just where it is. See, I sleep good at night. I don't worry about these dudes like that. They on some other shit. Because when I was in this space and learning about niggas, man, they on some BS. You know, that's what I've learned. And what I'm seeing is like you got to show it at this point. So yeah, I'm focused on what's going on in the news about this racial stuff. You know, the cops pulling over people, and I hope it ain't nothing gonna happen here. You know, since the election. You know, because I focus on what matters in the race terms of election. Like we got a new president. You're gonna see a lot of these spurts of cops, like they did with Obama. They did with old boy Cosmos, and he shot up a few cops and a military guy, and then another one from Dallas, and they said a robot killed him. I'm like, robot? Okay, really? I wouldn't put it past them, man. It's just you can't trust them nowadays. And then you got Officer Faulkner upset about it, and he's passionate about this stuff. You know what I mean? And then you got one individual said, "Well, he didn't comply." You got the Brandon Tails, or y'all know who I'm talking about. This dude does not know how many L's he done took. He's like he sticks out a sore thumb. I'm not really mad at him, but I'm not surprised he think like that. And then I think DC tried to talk to him on the Art of New Styles debates, like they had Friday, and he tried to tell him, like, dude, and he brought up the Neely Fuller thing with him. He didn't want to hear that, and that's just let you know he's too far gone to be safe. So you can't really get mad at him. He just there for entertainment. Like they always trying to say, those guys for entertainment. No, you're doing the same thing. So my advice is don't even bother with them, you know, because if you got your content, do your content, but don't try to challenge people that's doing their thing, you know, because they might not do this entertainment stuff. They know they have to switch up. That's YouTube. Michael Johnson was killed. Okay, yeah, it was stated that a drone killed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I was talking about. Yeah, when I saw that a couple of years ago, and then I remember that time too when I was working, they kept talking about it, and people just want to denounce it in 2016, my first job. I was upset when that happened, but I understand they try to treat him what he is. And same with Cosmos. He retaliated because of that. You know, you had spurts. It was under Obama. Now Trump, you had a lot of shootings. Now he ain't perfect, okay? And they tried to take him out, but see what hurt him was COVID, the C virus, what I want to call it. He had a chance to stop it. I think BGS mentioned it. A lot of people have mentioned, but you know, a lot of people mentioned before BGS. So I'm just gonna put that out there. He was done. And then you see how the manager how it started going on chats, yours wacky and others, and then I think I started with Oh Boys, and that lasted until the winter. And the other guy, I'm not gonna mention his name, but all of a sudden, you know, that's how I started out. And then at the end it was Brain Trust. I think you helped me introduce that, and I think they're decent. But the thing about it is, what I learned about chats and panels, I started coming on later and learned about the format, and I said it's a little different. Then this year, I've been on a couple of them. The same old arguments. What Sigma said, like 2019. To me, those arguments remind me of 9 years ago. I done heard from SETI and others. Unarmed so-called black males get killed by the police, and it just excused the justice of racist police. Exactly, that's what I'm talking about. He does that. He did a debate with VA. That's what the whole Art of New Style debate was about, Wacky. It was about the Friday debate. He came out. He came over there by a 3 hour mark with his minions. His sorry minions told him to go over there. He just wants some attention. He never leaves. And we was trolling and clowning him. He got upset. I was up there, and someone said in Big J's chat, Explode said, "You've been clowning him lately." Well, he deserved to get clowned. He's showing you who he is. He doesn't care about the plight of men, and they're gonna see who he really is. The other side, they still mad about him about that white boy incident. I remember that incident too when he came on his panel. I didn't see the video, and I think you responded to that video, and you said those guys got so emotional. And I don't want to say the Brain Trust took a L, but those brothers took a L, man. Y'all support this dude. And Jay Sean was upset. I saw their version of response, and they had everybody on there. You was on there, Big J was on there, Taz was on there, trying to scare him off. And it's just like what Taz said. You see a guy that don't agree what we agree on, it's hard. And DC was upset about that on the Art of New Style. That was a great interview. You told him, yeah, it was Friday. It was that Friday, and I'll never forget it. I was there in the chat, and I think I was I was on the panel with him. And I try to tell him, calm down, keep your composure. He's like, I am calm down. He's like, I am calm down. Like, dude, chill out. Like, you get so overly emotional about, he says a rumor, but I don't know if it's true or not, but if it is true, you showed your hand, homeboy. See, one thing about me, I don't show myself a lot on the internet or on YouTube, but when you are a figure in a loudmouth, and you represent the whole manosphere, like you said, dude, you're a target. White folks gonna look at you like, what's this guy talking about? Now he has white followers like Tommy, right? This dude's different. He wants to be the loudest in the room. What's up, Nude? What's going on, man? Salute. And he wants to be that dude, but I get what he's coming from, though. His perspective may not be great, but dude, you can't just come in here and expect me to see what's going on here. Like we had a discussion. I asked him a simple question, and I think he got upset about it. And I was like, he said, "What type of question is that?" No, I just want to ask you: do you really stand on your conviction? What you believe that George Floyd, you said the back or whatever, he died from this fentanyl case? And I think Charles discussed that. He said that he showed white people dying like flies over there on his channel, and I was on the panel over there, and we talked about the same dude we're talking about. Sub Dick Thug. Um, yeah, and that just shows you what time it was. He knew what time it was when we went over there. That was kind of, it was yelling and screaming at the end. I kind of trolled him a bit, and I think Art brought him down, brought us all down. He said, "Y'all need to," he was trying to clean up the panel, but what he did, what I liked was he got Rodney up there, and he had Charles Faulkner talk to him about those situations, right? And that's what kind of hurt him a little bit, and he had some decent points, but they weren't great. It was the same old answers, and they asked him for, where was I at? Oh, Art of New Style. I was on his panel last Friday, and they was debating your boy Mr. Fragile himself, but I ain't gonna give him the name. Ain't nothing fantastic, but that dude is just wild, man. I don't take these content creators and worship them. I stand on my own. I let them be who they are. I ain't got no hate towards them. I just let them be. I just pick the brains and see what their heads at. You know what I mean? I have my own lane to deal with. I'm my own person, so I ain't trying to be dictated. But that's just what it is, man. Like, I'm seeing it for, like, sometimes the pro black stuff is great in the beginning. I'll never forget it when I first started YouTube. When I first started YouTube, it was like entertainment. I was like a guru when they had they little things that changed probably since 2008. And over years, I had to switch up my content somewhere around 2011. When I got into the Hebrew stuff, thanks to certain members of the GMS, like, they was all right at that time. I got tired of them. Then I found out the young one, he broke down the scriptures for me simply, and I did the research on my own. And that's when I was at my best on my old channel. Now, my old channel got flagged for some hardcore shit. I think the top people at the top did not like what I said about the order, the Masonic order, about I think I had a video called the Jaffites, and I got flagged for that. And they got my ass too, so-called hate speech. But it was really my own people probably done told. It was a dude named Obliterator. He was behind all that, the fake Asian propaganda like you're seeing now. It's nothing new. That happened to me. Yes, new. That happened to me. That's what happened on my first channel. And they had a list of us too. I was top 3. I was one of the best of that side. Me and Nazir Lee was number 1. I was number 2. I forget who was number 3. I had to post it on Daily Motion and show you the proof that they had a list of us. And I think Elder Young One posted on his old videos like, yeah, we was flagged. It was like a blacklist. It was like in March, something like that. Yeah, yeah. He was behind that. He had to tap my phone and got me. And I cut him off since then. We had an argument in the comment section, and that was like years ago. And I cut that dude off, man. He lives here, but outside the cat, I don't fuck with dude. That's what I'm saying now. That's what's happening to me every time I look at the split. Yeah, yeah. He did, Wacky. Yeah, that's what I'm saying now. In these manosphere spaces now, the new ones. See, I'm observing. I try not to preach brotherhood because some dudes ain't about brotherhood like that. Brotherhood is like you gotta be about it for the long haul, but you gotta be about your message. For one, it's you gotta show it. Now, I ain't got nothing against the other dude. I ain't gonna mention his name because he's upset about one video that see could have called him the L word, lunatic, right? That's what he's really mad about. You're right on some things, my man, but you're wrong on a lot of stuff. That way of thinking, I used to think like that and say have a society, but it ain't easy. Ain't a lot of us around. You see the harassment by the police and they shooting us down and shit. And they not gonna stop, man. You have to understand. I understand you're a truck driver and everything, but dude, you're getting tagged. But when you ran from the PhD guy, you know what I would have done in that debate? I would have asked him beforehand, hand me your 8 books so I can study them and set the debate somewhere around the summertime. I would have killed him then. But what I don't like about what the Prophet Thought series, how they do the debate, yeah, they were, it got me flat too. Also, that's what happened to me. And Mike S was mocking him. I'll never forget that too. I remember that videos. Oh yeah, and I think I did a video on that. But what I don't say, yeah, most of us are contrarians in this space. We disagree for the sake of we may agree on the subject 90% of the time, but however, we are 1% create these unarmed factions. Yeah, exactly. That's what I see. It's too many contrarians in the space. There's no hate towards these guys, man. It's just you got we all right, but the problem is you can't preach brotherhood and then attack people. People get mad when I say I'm on individualist and I ain't take no collective L's. It's like shit. What you're saying exactly, dude. This is what I'm talking about. You gotta be your own man at the end of the day. Now, if you want your own group, that's good, but it's a small thing for me. My thing is you have to have a small unity. But what you do, you help others. I don't care if it's B1 or whoever. Just be honest with yourself. Don't come in here and try to make a brotherhood and attack a certain individual. Now, I don't care for what's his name, AM. When I was on panels with him, he's a decent guy, but my thing is I'm not subscribed to that guy. I don't care what he does. Now, if he calls himself a street conservative, that's his thing. I laugh at that when he calls himself. Now he changed his name and called himself what, the Drip Lounge? I let him have that. See, I never asked him about that with him and his gripe with the other guy. And that's just let you know what time it is. But you got to understand if they call you a lunatic and the MF word, the other MF back of the truck, to me, I would ignore that. I know he took it personally. He wears most on his sleeves. I understand it. But me, I would ignore that. This is the internet, man. Now, in real life, you would have tagged him. But when you go up against those dudes' contrary belief, let them attack you. But if you attack them, that defeats the purpose. That's counterproductive. I don't do that. See, I don't attack people in flag. That's not what I do. If you're gonna say one thing, just say it. But don't go over there and attack dudes that don't really like you. Just leave them be. They'll fade away. I've seen this many times. Niggas fade away. Always remember that. You got black content that's still here and still standing. There's certain ones that are decent, no matter if it's the manosphere or outside the black spaces, and they have their own little black spaces. They stand the test of time. I'll give you an example. This comedian, Daquan Wilshire, and I think Kuda told me about him. He stand the test of time. Okay. That's what matters. But if you do this in the real world and if you have a message and it's a lot harder and you're dealing with tech, you still can stand the test of time. But I think the main focus we should be is we got to be more productive now in different ways. I understand the message. I ain't against productivity. No, that's a given. Okay, women can come later or not. To me, I don't really care from this point. And for one, I ain't in no relationships thing. I'm pulling a Ty City on y'all, man. When I looked at his stuff, man, I see what he's talking about. I'm learning about each side, so I don't pick sides. I'm one of those people. I'm a neutralist in my own right, but if I have to pick a side, it's gonna be productivity. But the game stuff and the non-game stuff, what that does, it divides us. That's not by design anyway, because the women want that, the white men want that, and they'll pick one of these guys. Say, "Oh, you the guys over here? You're about this and that." They want beef. Beef is content. I've seen this before. It's like the Pookie Ray Ray argument somewhat, but in reality you can go against game dudes all day, but to me, it's kind of boring. They ain't got nothing to stand on. You know what I mean? And now they say I'm subscribed to that dude. No, he's diverse. He's somewhat of a PUA guy, but he has a background. I asked him about his background. He said, I get stopped for not doing shit. I said, well, maybe because the look that you wear, your dreads. And I told him that racial profiling. Yeah, yeah, I can't be. Yeah, that's right, dude. But I'm just saying about my man Kuda. I told him the reason you got stopped. Look at where you wear your dreads. And if he was down south, they definitely would have came at him. They think he's some type of drug dealer. Especially in Georgia. You can wear dreads, but if he was in my state where I'm originally from, he would have got destroyed. They would have came at him harder. You know what I mean? No matter if you're doing nothing or not. But he's in DC. He's in a rough part. That's a PG count. I was like, damn, nigga. You in the heart of the heartlands, man. And then he said he had a rap background. I said, okay. I may ask him about what his music is. I'm curious about him though, see what he's about. Then he told me on a panel, he said, you're honest and you said, yeah, I was just joking with him over there. He got upset when I say he had style, but I said something else. He ain't one of these other dudes. So that's just my thoughts of him. But my thing is about him was I want somebody that's more diverse in his craft. It was more than just his music, but he brings like a radio. He's mostly like radio. He's kind of like a shock jock to me. I don't see him as a just an entertainer, but he has that mixture that I used to be cool with back in '07 when I dealt with Whitewood Entertainment and Noah Syfe and them. It was on that type of time. It's kind of like you need some entertainment, but you don't need all of it. I already got it from Gully. I already got it from what's his name, Devin the Wade Show. I got options. I mean, I ain't trying to stick with manosphere content because manosphere content can drain. What you can take from it is learn about the three pills. What I've learned about the three pills on their side, they said blue pill society, which is true. Red pill should not be about women. It should be about how to deal with society, how to deal with radical feminism, how to deal with radical the brainwashing of our women. Even though they're not our women no more, they're lost. So they say, okay, fuck it, we got 10 billion, we don't need you niggas, okay. And I'm seeing that in spaces, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. He is new. He is. He told me all the time. I'm just saying, my boy Kuda is too, but his is more mainstream. Like he's cool with certain dudes and independent. Complex is too in the underground sense. His goes back to guys like Dale and Doom and all those dudes. That's his lane. But he told me about the vinyl. So yeah, dude is official too. So the disagreements is how you get your audio. That's what that was about. And the old boy over there calls himself the BABG. Needs to stay out of it. He thinks he likes controversy like Tommy. If y'all notice, pay attention to what he does on panels, how he destroys them. He's no better. And I'm no diss to JX. If JX stay away from it, if my advice to her, I say, if you stay away from that dude, you'd be a better relationship coach. This is just my personal opinion. If I would have told her on the panel, you need to stay away from that dude. That dude's gonna, uh, you know, you know who I'm talking about. Always call himself Mr. BABG. This clown behind man, like hurting panels. Yeah, 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 and yeah, yeah. But see, you gotta be careful with him. Then he's so solution oriented. I get it. We had our little disagreement about a bill that he made a response over zeros, and to me, zeros like he's a semi troll, but he's smart. Don't underestimate Zero. Zero is intelligent. Okay. Your other two boys, they just going at it and in turmoil, and I stay out of it. If you got beefs with certain individuals, I'm just gonna leave y'all alone. You know what I mean? And I think this breakup, whatever you want to call it, from him, he can have that. Because when it gets to politics and I don't want to say pussy, it kind of breaks it up. You know what I mean? And ever since this election, everybody gets divided on small things. I've noticed that too. Noticed that in families, my family, and it's not good. You know, you gotta look at it from the big picture. But what I've learned and noticed, you can't get emotional on panels, man, because people are watching you, no matter what color they're, white or black. They're observing. Are we the thought leaders? You know what I mean? And what I like about the Art of New Souls pro-blacks, how he throw them up there. I think some of these individuals that he threw up there weren't pro-black, but it was a few that I thought was pro-black. Now he mentioned Malcolm and Martin, but everybody else, like, they're questionable. Now he did throw up Marcus Garvey. He did throw up the scholars like Yvonne Sertima and all them. Ron Will, I think what's the name? Amos Wilson. Yeah, all those guys. Those are pro-black guys, but they're intellectuals. See, what you have in this space, you have black intellectuals. The first two space. Now, the first space was intellectualism mixed with the RBG and the pro-black stuff. Then you got the actual, I would say, MRA guys and all that. Yeah, that Wacky was saying. Yeah, it's a combination of a lot of things. It was on its way. It was the best of its time. The 2.0 was supposed to extend that thanks to Soul and Black. Now, Soul and Black said, I'm going to vocal. I can't deal with this Google and YouTube shit because they trying to censor everybody. Well, but that's Google for you. They control every damn thing. The CIA and all them, thanks to Alex Jones, they run this stuff. You can't say nothing bad about them and the other groups. They come after you. And I learned a valuable lesson 9 years ago. Yeah, they got power. They watching people left and right, man. That's right. No, you have to be in a sense. Yeah, I've noticed that you have to, and then you got to mix with MRA, and it's tough. I ain't got no problem with certain MGTOWs. Now, if you're extreme and think like these white boys, like I ain't no diss to Roland Tomasi, you have a lot of right wing rednecks at the time. I'll tell you a story about Black Pride. Black Pride never liked MGTOW. I don't know if y'all familiar with this content creator with the Y. He was from the 1.0 days before there was a Manosphere 1.0. In 2006, him and Sergeant Willie P used to go at it. They were cool, but they talked about the same issues. He talked about a lot of things. And when I first heard his content in 2012, yeah, the ISM panel last night, yeah, I saw that, and then that's the whole thing. He had an issue with it. The guy I'm speaking of, that was years ago, and he said he never trusted him, but he didn't like the white element of it, the redneck element of it, because it was anti-black and all that stuff. Black people can be black mental any day, yeah. But Black Pride is gone. Yeah, he's gone, but he had he still got a channel somewhere, but he made a few videos last year. He's around. He just don't do content over here no more. He's around. I'm subscribed to him. Yeah, Black Pride's my boy, man. That dude be talking about military stuff, cop stuff, and the racism of it. And he talks about LA, how it was. He was talking about some manosphere and stuff too, and tell to watch out for these women, watch out how they do. Certain men in black spaces. Brotherhood has to be preached, in a certain way, and especially right now. And he predicted white folks is going to amp up in each election, and he talked about Trump, how bad he was, and Biden. You need guys like that, but that was 1.0 standard. But 2.0, you didn't have that. You didn't have that in 2.0. Because 2.0, they deal with this esoteric, metaphysical. You still got black intellectualism a little bit. It's really semi. It's in a small sense because you got Nicole Ali, Gigi, Dr. Anwar Dunbar, and a few others, and Dr. T. Hassan Johnson, Dr. Hassan T. Johnson, something like that. Yeah. I heard one of them on the panel BGS a long time ago. He went off, yeah. Or MGTOW first anyway. I'd happily keep that MGTOW label. Yeah, it's nothing wrong with that, dude. I mean, you can keep that. It's nothing wrong with that. I think you can be that right now. Back then it wasn't popular. It wasn't liked by certain pro-blacks. I'm telling you about this Black Pride. They didn't accept that back then. Y'all didn't have a start really since 2012. Y'all was around, yes. You and MR, y'all was around. There was no SYSBM. That's new. That's some new shit. And thanks to Kuda, he said, Mad Bus Dog Driver ain't cool with half of those dudes. He don't even mess with the Mansfield like that. When he said that, at first I didn't want to believe him, but then I said, in a way, so I ain't subscribed to him. And I've been on his panel. I've been on his, not panel, but his chat once when they tried to get rid of Trey MBD. You know what happened in the Capitol building, but I ain't going to get into that. And he's got gripe with, old boy over there. But that shows you the division. Yeah, this is what they do, man. And I don't agree a lot of that. Yeah, two mostly deals of crying over pussyism. Yes, that's really what it is. You can say it on that side, but it's really both sides. Really, it should be about being productive. Yeah, I was around back in then 07, 08. Yeah, you probably was. And I was around '07 too when I got flagged in 2012. So I've been over here for decades. I've seen this stuff before. This ain't nothing new. It's I don't know who's gonna blow up in the summer. I think me and Kuda talked about this on a panel, and he said it can be Kevin Samuels or it can be him or he say JX or whoever. To me, I think it's gonna be KS because he's gonna blow up in a mainstream way. And I think the mainstream aspect of him blowing up, yeah, yeah, he's gonna blow up in a big way. But is he right for the message? No, in some cases, but he's one of those coaches that I don't really care for. I've seen this before, but if he slips up, they're gonna come after his head. You know what I mean? Because you got a woman named SWB coming after him. But even though, yeah, he's already mainstream. Yeah, he is right now. He's right now, but he's gonna be bigger because he's got to take that spot. He has to have some good lawyers and protection. He's gonna do better. To me personally, I think he's gonna do better than Tommy. Yeah, in a way, yeah, he's a male shares. Yeah, he's clever, but he's gonna be bigger. And the way he destroyed those women, I saw this on Kuda's panel. Yeah, and I told Kuda he's gonna have to be careful because he's got a lot of females after him. They call him a narcissist and everything, and they're the main ones act just like him. But that's how that goes. We're gonna see because if he does, and there's gonna be a lot of brothers gonna be jealous. You already see it now. Yeah, one individual's trying to say, I need the numbers, I need the numbers. But if he gets passed by a certain individual, I say, if I was JX, I'd leave his behind. He's not gonna help your content. So we already seen it on Art of New Style, what he did in those hours. He came in the 3 hour mark, and then I was like, dude, you gotta let that go. I mean, that's just that's just what I'm looking at. I ain't got no beef with those two. And I'm saying, look, yeah. Then Tommy, he gets 15,000 live views on his live, which Tommy cannot get. Well, Tommy deals with beef. That's what hurt him. Tommy, what you're seeing right now in the manosphere, that's what's popular, but really that gets old after a while. Once you get a certain, I'll say this: once you get a certain level and a certain age, you got to grow up, man. Because a lot of times them dudes ain't really built like that. And you don't want no bloodshed at this point because you're dealing with the police, what I'm seeing now, and you don't need um, stuff like this to happen. I say, shouts out to KS, man. He get his numbers, you know. Yeah, I did. Yeah, Big J Triple X done discussed that. Yeah, he discussed that. You have to watch his channels more often. I mean, subscribe to him if you can. He's got some great content. He's got a new mic. He's got everything, but it don't have to be perfect. But one thing I can say about Big J, he's telling the truth about the manosphere. It's not gonna last if we keep going back and forth. They're not gonna allow that. Yeah, because you got to clean up your content. Me and I think War Master talked about this at the Bernard Riley stream, and he said, you got to clean up your content. Even War Master told me, he said, dude, you got to clean up your content. He was telling that to Kuda. He said, yeah, and he could have said, yeah, I need to clean it up. Yeah, you got to clean it up because if you're trying to get to the moderation, to me, I don't trust it at all. But that's where you want to be at the top. Now, Kevin is putting pressure on the spear, you know, and I know Rudep don't love him, but you know what I'm saying? Like he's putting pressure, but I think people got to just look at it. I subscribe to Taz too, only because he points out the creepy stuff some folks being in this space. Well, Taz, he's a classic example. Like Cyrus Newton said, he likes to expose stuff. I've noticed that in comparison. That's who he reminds me of back in the day. He's just doing it with a microphone. He's powerful, but a lot of dudes don't like him because of the Obsidian thing. So yeah, and it happened before exactly. That's right, wacky facts. Already told these fools just drop the name Black Manosphere because it's a joke right now. Yeah, it's a joke, new. It's a joke. It's a joke. Don't matter if it's 1.0. See, 1.0 is respected. They respect 1.0. They just don't respect 2 and 3 right now. Because, yeah, you sub to a known doxer dig. Doxer dig. Not a good thing. Okay. Oh, talking about Taz. Oh yeah, you talking about Taz. Okay. Yeah, Taz likes to do that. I ain't with that, but that's his thing. Oh, talking to Dig. Yeah, okay, yeah. Taz. I leave Taz alone. I know what he's about. He reminds me of Cyrus and said it. The doxing thing came from that era. When you expose people and show yourself, I try to tell, oh boy, what's his name, Mister 824. I call him Fragile Tastic. That's what Shonda gave him off of Charles Faulkner. Because of the situations going on right now. And I try to tell him, dude, if you show yourself way more times, dude, people gonna dox where you live whenever. It's about to be inevitable. You know what I mean? Because people do that all the time. It's coward shit behind it. It's like trolling. It ain't nothing serious, but it's weird stuff. Yeah. And they get exposed down here too. If I ever run into them, I'm like, dude, you ain't really about that. Oh, you try to tell them it's for research. Yeah. Well, be careful. Yeah, Taz is well known for that. He'll dox anybody. But he's been doxed too. You know what I mean? Like I don't think Taz is a problem. He reminds me of a certain individual that I know in the so-called conscious community in comparison. He's just that type of person. You know, and they rival that. That's what I'm talking about. But I don't think he was part of Manosphere. He just don't like you know the rhetoric we're spewing. I don't agree on everything he says, but when it's certain individual on our side, we don't really check. That's a big problem. Yeah, it's a joke right now because you got people talking. You got the enemies talking. You got a new female feminist that was cool with Saint and Center, but she's hanging with Pin G and them. You don't want to dox me. I'm on the list for a reason. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Well, they ain't doxing me for shit. They ain't got nothing on. See, I don't show my face a lot. That's why they can't dox you. If you show yourself a lot and show your hand, if you show your hand like, oh boy, I try to tell you show your hand. You up out of it. People need to quit doxing stuff. It can get people hurt. If it's yeah, it will. Will because I'm gonna tell you, you keep doing that, somebody's gonna die. Or if he retaliates, yeah, it goes. And I try to tell him that, dude, you don't want to be in that situation. And keep showing your face and bragging that you're tough. That right there, and they dox you. You can't do that either because they're gonna get you. And the rhetoric of your, self-hating on black people. You got a lot of pro-black dudes don't like dudes like that. Yeah, yeah, he's talking about what did Wacky said? Micah Jones, I believe, right? Let's see. Let's go back up here. Let's see. Micah Johnson. Yeah, Micah Johnson. I remember that. Yeah, I was in the workplace when they talked about that, man. That's hell. Yeah. I show it every once in a while on panels, but I don't do it that often. You know what I mean? Because that's another way they can try to dox you and try to find out your information and scan. You know how tech is. You already got Google doxing us, so we don't need an extra person. It's just people get upset, man, and there's nothing wrong. I have no problem showing my face because this is what I look like anyway. So I ain't got no issues. I don't make it a habit because most of my videos I hardly ever show. I have a few, but you got to remember everybody's not on the same level of try to clout chase in these spaces. And cloud chasing is all time high. We love to hurt ourselves, hating on whatever. I understand we give criticisms to the females or the I would say the women, but yeah, we criticize everybody. We check them for their little dumb stuff. But you gotta understand something. You gotta understand something. They're just gonna continue. What's gonna be on and right for wrong. So what I've learned from this manosphere stuff, man, like the new manosphere, and then looking at old Kuda videos he was cool with, it's a lot of good stuff. I can say I'll explain why, how people they got along. It was great. I don't know where the fallout began. The back chats is what's hurting them really. I never back chat people when I'm on panels. unless it's a email and all that. I don't do all that. I just like, look, I'll send you a link for information if you want to know about my channel, research. If it's particularly on the topic, we'll do that. I think I um, got information about this the OnlyFans thing from PK Angel. He sent that to me about someone's getting divorced over that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The history of the father. I know you do, and it's crazy. I've seen it on his old videos, and I said, "Oh wow, it's third ships." No wonder why they're excited, and they copy from him. But it happens. That's part of the manosphere. They're gonna take this stuff and buy it. I told him this. You got some people bite off of my stuff, and it's just like Randy SoCal said. Look, they're gonna steal your shit, and they won't acknowledge you. And what it is, I don't want to say they're a fan. I want to say that's just who they are in so many cases. So yeah, man, it's really that bad. So yeah, yeah, and that's just basically what I'm saying. You know, but you gotta understand. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can send me that. Yeah, you can send me that, and then okay, yeah, I'll send you my email in the chat if I bump into you. You can send me that. Yeah, and I will be on the Chromebook. Yeah, I got Zoom on my Chromebook. And yeah, yeah, man. It's pretty good. I just want to make this live stream kind of short. So yeah, so with that, fellas, I mean, peace to the brothers over there, and shalom to wacky. So I'm out of here. If anyone saw my old videos from back in the day, they would know that people bite my style all the time. It's the last one to cry about it. Yes, yeah, I checked out your live stream new. It was great. Yeah. So with that, I want to say shalom.